Hey, what's up everybody? It's Parker Jean here, co-founder of Sanctuary Farms. So today we really wanted to make this video to share some of the story and the behind the scenes of why our compost means so much to us and why we're so passionate about it. We really got into this journey through closing the food loop, which means that we were diverting food waste, turning it into compost, and then using that compost to grow food with. Moving forward, we found that, and we really paid homage to those who were making compost in the city of Detroit. We found that although there were a lot of people that had tried to make compost in the city of Detroit, and there still are plenty of people who do make compost on a smaller scale in their community garden or in their farm, there really hasn't been a lot of people doing it on a large enough scale to supply others, to supply other farmers and other gardeners. So after we really did our research and we looked around and we were trying to actually buy compost ourselves, we ended up buying a couple loads of compost from some bigger industrial government-run facilities or large-scale private facilities, and we just really weren't happy with the compost. We found it was loaded with weed seeds. There was tons of trash in it. There was big clumps. It wasn't very well draining, and so anyway, we really got on this path to create the best compost that we could. And so yes, there is a philanthropic element in the sense that we are trying to do our part to protect the environment, where we do feel good about diverting food waste, but it's so much more than that. It's really about improving the soil health for this city, and we're doing that through this compost that we're making. It's about the quality. We're paying attention to the details. We're paying attention to the curing. We're really proud of it, but it's not just about us, it's really about this network, and the more we can supply this compost to others, the more we can build that soil health and improve the microbiology and the growing conditions and create more nutritious food for more people. So we actually want to follow up with some of the people we've been delivering to for a little over a year now, and we want to see how our compost is being used in their gardens. And so today we have some exciting interviews and some follow-ups. So let's check out their gardens and farms, and let's check out what they're saying about our compost and how it's being used in their gardens.
My name is Gwen. I run the farm at Coriander. We have an acre growing space that grows vegetables using organic methods, herbs, flowers, cut flowers, edible flowers, a little bit of it all.
Okay, hello, my name is Amanda. I'm the co-founder and co-owner, co-runner, other half to Fennigan's Farms. We're a sustainable agricultural design firm here in Detroit, but we focus more specifically on rebuilding our approaches to community resilience. So here on our farm, we're able to demonstrate different sustainable ways that we grow food, and then we also grow a lot of sustainable materials and textiles.
I'm Myrtle, Thompson, Curtis, Feedom Freedom Growers, Urban Agriculture on the East Side, Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood.
So, mainly just wanted to see, like, how's the experience been, like, working with the compost?
I would say it's really rich, but it's a little lighter.
So the compost quality is it's light and loamy, fluffy. I've noticed what an impact it's made on key beds that we've had some struggles with in terms of fertility.
All of our plants are doing well.
Yeah.
They're it does really well when it comes to our brand new plants. We have a lot of plants now that are in their second or third year, and I noticed when we do a top dressing with them each year, it really does help to give them that extra boost.
So speaking of good, in your experience, like what would separate a good quality compost just from kind of an average sort of industrial cheaper compost?
What I've noticed with your compost is when I've put it on the plants, it's the same across the board. It's like a very soft, fluffy thing, and even the ones that have the chunks, when we're breaking up the chunks, it's not this big deposit of stuff that ends up burning the plants. It's just, it breaks down into something fluffy too.
So I bought stuff that compacted really hard. It was really, really light, but really, really hard balls.
Hard to get it to break apart.
Hard to get it to break apart. Didn't know what that was about. And then it was just like really dried out. And that just wasn't good. It just, I don't know. And then we could get it where too much stuff is growing in it as soon as you get it. Yeah, as soon as you get it wet. Like, oh, Lord, what have we done?
Right.
I think the work that you do is creating a distinct, it's affirming the agricultural roots of our city and giving growers in the city an opportunity to get their resources from here.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
What I can say is that I'm really happy to know that composting is happening closer to home now, because I believe in local, small economies.
And if you do want high quality compost that's here in Detroit, that will come and deliver it to you, so it cuts out all of that stuff, then this is worth investing into. So trying to advocate for the investment if you're able to invest.
Right.
The value in compost, because that's where it all starts. The nutrition of your soil, that's where it starts. And just knowing that I'm contributing to a local small economy makes the price comparable.
There is this like determinism of Detroiters to like buy from their local purveyors if you can.
Right.
And so like having now the opportunity to get compost from you, it's like I know that the impact, first of all, the quality is the best that I've seen, but secondly, it's like the money that I get to spend with you then is like looped back into
Right.
our own city.
Right.
And that's like the whole point for me in growing.
Yeah.
Parker does a really good job of explaining exactly what goes into the process of making the compost, but you can tell that he really cares about the process and is doing it because he knows it's going to help everybody else who's growing food. I also appreciate that it's made here in Detroit. So we're supporting a local business when we order compost from Sanctuary Farms. But yeah, it's a high quality product and high quality people.
All right, y'all, so come take a look at this compost and see why we're so proud of it. You know, first of all, when you smell it, it just smells like the earth. It has a very nice earthy smell to it. Second of all, when you hold it in your hand and you clump it up, you can clump it up just enough where it balls together, but at the same time you can shake it out. Why is that important? That's important for drainage. If you had really, really clumpy, compacted compost, it would not be very good for drainage. And you would have maybe flooding or water would be pooling up. But aside from that, you can really see how diverse the materials are. It's not powdery, it's not dry, but it's not too wet. And you can really see like the particle sizes, which actually should be pretty diverse. Like you shouldn't have just a super finely sifted compost unless you're starting seeds or something, but in a general gardening or farming context, the compost doesn't need to be extremely sifted. So the fact that our compost has a diversity of material sizes is a good thing, which some of it is compost and some of it is more like mulch. As we've heard from soil scientists too, the diversity is on point, the nutrition is on point. It's a very balanced compost in terms of acidity, and it has all the basic micronutrients that you need for your garden. So your plants are definitely going to do well with our compost.
Yeah, hello. I am Charles Bey, Dr. Charles Bethke. I'm a horticultural soil scientist and soils researcher. And I've been in this business since I started when I was 8, and I've got over 50 years of experience. So working with potting soils, growing media, and substrates related to horticulture, and worked with a lot of composting materials throughout the years in different composting organizations. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you all today. The laboratory analysis gives us the nutrients that you have, and there's a proper complement of nitrogen, and the nitrogen is mostly involved in the organic complex and not in the highly soluble form, meaning that it's well, this compost was well aged, well composted, and was what I would call mature. Parker, the analysis here from Midwest Laboratory that you sent me from that particular lot is among the best compost analyses I've seen in my lifetime, from a product that's produced from the materials you produced from, and so I would say it's in the top echelon of good clean compost that comes from basically extensive compost work compost work where you're doing a good job. And in our discussions, I realized you really do a careful job of making up the formulations, and it shows through in the result.
So that was really incredible to see the feedback and the overwhelmingly positive feedback from some of the community that's been buying from us for multiple years now. Some of the key words that we heard were our soil and our compost is well draining, it's fluffy, it's light, the plants are doing well, and the compost is not loaded with weed seeds and invasive plants. That's a huge struggle that people struggle with when they're ordering from large facilities. Weed seeds just pop out of it. And we did not hear that from anybody during our interviews. We also heard from Charles how diverse the nutrition is, how nutritionally diverse the compost is, and the positive, well-balanced elements of the compost. So we're really proud of this compost. At the end of the day, it's all about the community supporting us and us supporting the community. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. We could not do it without people ordering the compost from us. And so thank you. I just want to say thank you, everybody, and for allowing us to be on this path to create the best quality compost in Detroit.